Good morning. Happy Sunday Fun Day. I hope everyone's having a good morning so far, or day, I guess, depending on what time of the day you're watching this. Thank you for joining me. My name is Trisha Shalo with Just for the Love of Stamping. And today I'm here to share with you some tips and tricks and projects today using Stampin' Up's embossing folders. And here's just a sample of what an embossing folder is for those of you who may be new to this. While we just wait a few minutes for folks to jump on, I just thought I'd share with you this week's stamp night. Friday night is stamp night. I'm actually placing my rush order this afternoon after dinner, so there's still time to get in if you want it. It is featuring the Sharing Sunshine stamp set. You'll get this as well as the Daffodil Delights blends and some fun sequins to use on our cards. And these are the fun cards that we're going to make. No embossing in these ones, but who knows, maybe next month's will include embossing. I'm still undecided as to what next month's stamp set should be, so actually I'm hoping you guys can help me out doing a little vote. We've got a new stamp set in the new holiday catalog, as well as a returning favorite, Banner Year. And so I'm just not too sure which stamp set to do for stamp night next month. So let me know what your vote would be. I mean, it's not a commitment to do the class, but I'd just like to know if you think a card class using Cutest Halloween or Banner Year would be a stamp set of choice. So just let me know in the comments. I'm also probably going to do a little poll a little later so we can see what that looks like. Okay, so like I said, we are sharing Stampin' Up's embossing folders, and there's actually quite a few of them. In order to use the embossing folders, oh, good morning, Diane. Thanks for joining. You do need some sort of embossing machine, a cut and emboss machine, say a Big Shot. Stampin' Up's is the cut and emboss machine, but these also work on other company die cutting machines as well. Any of them that are made for multi-layers that you can run embossing folders in. So yes, they're not specific to Stampin' Up's machine. You can use them with anything. They do come in various sizes. I have two of them here, but they also come in a mini. So we've got a mini size that's perfect for our Stampin' Up! Mini cut and emboss machine. But then we have our standard embossing folder, and our standard one is pretty like bendable, flexible. It's pretty thin. It's a standard size, 4x6. Actually, it might be 4 1/4 by 6 now. I feel like I need to measure this. I should know this. It's 4 1/4. 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So you can fit good card front sizes in that. And then we've got our larger, kind of just a little bit over 6 inches. And these ones are thicker and they're not as bendable. You see when I'm trying to go like this. So these actually are our 3D embossing folders. And you'll kind of see the difference here in a minute. And then the mini ones, they're not, this particular one isn't a 3D, but they do come in 3D or standard as well. Okay, so let me just quickly show you some images here. I've already gone through and pre-done them. I'm going to actually show you a little sampler that I have that we've done kind of as a way to store and keep track of all of our embossing folders. And that's what this is. I actually cut down a bunch of cardstock to 4 inches by 3 inches. So kind of like a project life size card. And then I mat it with an embossed image. So this is just a 1/4 of an inch less than these particular ones. So we've got here 3 3/4 by 2 3/4 and ran through the embossing machine. So this is kind of hard to see, but this is the, gosh, I should have all the names and I don't. This is like the 3D paint effect. So I don't know if you can see that there, but super fun. And then we have, ooh, this is a floral. And the floral one is also a 3D one. And what that means is you're going to get like an extra thick, crisp image. I don't know if you can see that too well there. There we go. That's maybe a better angle. And again, this one comes in the standard size, the 6 1/4 or 4 1/4 by just over 6. So that's the florals. And then we've got a texture. So this is kind of like an in-between a standard and 3D. It doesn't pop up as much, but it is a little thicker. And you'll see that as we assemble and put those through the cut and emboss machine. But anyways, that's what that looks like. It looks like a textured kind of shirt or upholstery fabric. Oh, this one is so cute. This is from the In the Wild collection. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but it's like little print, animal print. So that's a fun one to use. Again, I've just put this in a sample and it's in the standard size folder. And then I've got bricks. So this is another 3D. It's actually worn out bricks. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see that true image here on the screen. But this is a fun one, especially if you're using that plant collection. I saw that our stamping friend Donna is obsessed with the brick papers, but you can make your own using this. Then we've got this other one. This is a fun swirly one. This actually came out, I don't know if it was last holiday catalog or the holiday before, and it was highlighted with the Halloween stuff, but that's a fun 3D image that you can do lots with. And again, I'll show you some projects using this one for sure. And then, oh, this is a brand new wood grain one. Now, I don't know if you can see that. That one is a larger one. So you can do bigger sizes. And again, it looks like wood grain. You can make planks or kind of wood looking paper. But that's a fun new embossing folder that's in the new August to December catalog. Page 74 is where you'll find all of those. And again, page 154 and 55 is where you'll find all of these. And then we've got a brand new one. It's a worn look. My zoom just isn't kind of diving in here. But anyways, that's what that is. And what I do to kind of keep them as a sampler, like I mentioned, I cut them all down. I put them on a piece of cardstock. Actually, let's do this one first. I'll just get two going and put them in the book for you so I can show you. So I don't know if any of you guys have the fun little scrapbook albums, like the little 6x8. I think that's what they are. Maybe they're 8x10. Well, I don't know my measurements very well. Anyways, let me show you how I store these. So now that I have these all cut up, I am going to mount them to this cardstock. And I don't know if you've noticed, but all of these samples that I just showed you are on Rich Regals. And I'll show you here again, just a little storage tip and trick. So here's my little scrapbook that we sell. And inside are all these pocket pages. And so this is where I store, and these are all old colors. I'll have to update this with the new one, but it's the little samplers, I guess you can call them, like color combos to choose from, slid into the pockets along with the corresponding cardstock. So I've also included in this kind of a book of all of my samplers of embossing folders. And again, you're not going to be able to see those too well. Okay, but these ones are all retired now. But as we were going through, you'll notice these are the Brights collection. I just stuck a sticker on the back with the name so that I could recall what that was and then easily find it in my book. So this might be a good way. I know some of you guys have lots and lots of these folders. I'm not too sure how you store them to be able to easily access them, but I'd love to know. So do share in the comments. But again, so all I'm doing is tucking this into my page like so. There should be two pockets there. And then I'm just going to continue on, and then I'll make myself a little tab for that and be good to go to keep that organized so I can always go back to kind of see, oh, what embossing folder would I like? So anyways, I hope you like that little trick tip for kind of storing your embossing sampler. So I'll be doing that to all of these. Like I said, I also did them by color family just so that I could keep track of the different colors in the color family in case I needed to show someone or try and pull it out to see if it matches, like as a card swatch. So there's a little tip on how to store those. Now, when it comes to storing my actual folders, I just thought I'd quickly share with you. Now, it's going to be kind of hard, I think, to see on video, but I don't know if anyone remembers these boxes. These were the old die boxes that Stampin' Up! Used to sell for the large dies that were black and gray. You know, those were the super thick thick dies. So I use those now to store my dies, but in front of my dies is where I store my embossing folders. So this is where my standard size ones will all go. And that's how I store those. And then I've also got another bin like this that I'll show you. And this is where I keep all the larger dies. So these are the ones that are not kind of the 4x6 sort of sleeve. These are more of the 7-inch sleeves, the big ones. And so in this box is where you'll find my 3D, my larger 3D folders. So that's just an idea for storage. Again, I'd love to hear how you guys store yours. I'm always looking for ideas, especially as I try to move things around and create more space. Now we need to play. So you're going to need your machine. So this is the cut and emboss machine. Now I'm pulling out the big one because there are mini folders, but for the most part, the ones I want to use and show you today, those are actually large. And so with the plates that you guys have, if you have the cut and emboss machine, and if you have some other machine, that's okay. You'll have the instructions on how to layer it, hopefully. If not, it's just a matter of playing and figuring out what the right shimmy is for it. So for these particular ones, plate number 1, how can I show this? So plate number 1 is here, and it has all the instructions that you need. And so if you're using embossing folders, the standard embossing folder, you use plate number 1 plus cutting plates with your card in between inside your folder. But if you're using those 3D embossing folders like I shared, you're only going to use plate number 1 and plate number 4 between your folder and your cardstock. So again, it depends if you're using your standard folders or your 3D folders as to whether or not you're going to use your clear plates or your thick plates. But the nice thing is all of these are numbered. And so you just follow the instructions and voila. So let's just run a couple through the big shot here for you. So we've got some fun foils. You know what? Foils are a great thing to run through these embossing folders. I should show you regular paper, but foils are just so beautifully, they come out so beautiful when you run them through. And so what I'm going to do is pick one of the larger ones just so you can see that pop. Actually, we'll do this new worn out one. And we're going to do that in red. So now the trick is to figure out which way the embossing is happening. So is it going to push the paper up or is it going to push the image down? And so I'm just looking to see where most of the 3D images, this is all the indented. So the words are sticking out like into the plastic. So therefore I am going to want to put my foil facing down this way so that this, where it's all raised, pushes the image through the other side. So like I said, this is a 3D item. This is the thick one. So I just need the number 1 plate, the base plate, along with my embossing folder, and then gray plate number 4. I sandwich those together and I give it a push through the machine. Just give it a crank. Like so. I open it up. I hope I did it the right way. Yay, I did. So you see that went from being like a flat, shiny piece of cardstock to this wonderful 3D item. I was hoping I had a flat one to show you, but I think you saw it go through. Here's it in green. So we've got the flat, it's just flat, and now when you run the image through, it's like this. Won't that make a beautiful background for a card? Watch for something to be posted later today. Now we've got this gold. I wanted to try this gold with that animal print. And so the animal print, remember that one is a little more flexible. This isn't the 3D, so I need a little more layers when I go to run this through the machine. Again, I'm just making sure the raised image is on the back so that it pushes it through to the front. So now I've got my 1 layer. Now you're going to have to follow your machine tips and tricks, because sometimes the machine is just squeezed in a little too tight, and you might not need as many layers as the instructions say. So if you're finding that it's too tight, just continue on. I'm having to grab my little plates. So here's my plastic plate that I'm putting down. I'm putting my folder along with the paper inside. And then I'm using another clear plate and I'm pushing them through. And that's going to be another image, but again, this is with the non 3D folder. So that's why I have the different clear labels. And voila, here is the, I'm calling it leopard print, but it's animal print. Isn't that super fun and cute? And that'll make a great background on a card as well. Now I have attempted to do this with glitter paper. Let me show you what that has turned out like. I'm gonna just move this out of the way, but you get the point with the two different layers. The glitter paper, where did it go? Here it is here. Now, it's kind of hard to see. I did this one in the animal print as well. You can see through the back easily that it's ran through. It's a little tougher on the front, but someone who's getting this as a card, they'll be able to note it because they'll be able to feel that it's raised and bumpy and it'll look fabulous. You see, when I have it sideways, you can actually see the imprint. So you can emboss glitter paper. Now I've gone ahead and I have embossed the black glitter paper. Now, again, I don't know if you can see on camera. So on the glitter side, you can't really see it, but you know what? On the back side, you can. You can really see this because it's a thin paper backing and it's fabulous. So anyways, you'll see the completed project. Here's the card base that I'm about to use to make a fun card with a little bit of the glitter flipped over, just so people know that that is glitter paper. Plus it just gives it a little bit of pizzazz. So again, try embossing your glitter paper. But I have to say my most favorite thing to emboss is, well, already I told you guys that the foil paper is, but check out the start of this card. This is that new foil vellum. So vellum also embosses really nicely. This is shimmery and it's just, oh, it's like the cat's meow. That was a bad joke by me this morning. But anyways, try it. It comes out fabulous on your vellum. Okay, one more trick I want to share with you. I mean, I'll have a lot more posted throughout the day that you can check out, but I did want to share with you another tip for using your embossing folder. Now, I was really hoping to find that grain one again. Did I put it away? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my ink and I'm going to grab my embossing folder. So this particular one is a 3D one as well, and this is that wood grain one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open my ink pad. I am going to try and find which one has the raised images. So this side is my thicker side, and I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to stamp and ink my ink pad. Whoop. Boom, 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 boom. And here is kind of it all inked. You want to make sure that there's no like blotches or lines in one area, so I'm just going to smooth it out because I did notice some lines. And then what you're going to do is you're going to close that with your paper inside. Going to close it with this inside and then run it through the Big Shot. So let's just pretend I did that. We've closed it with our paper inside. We've ran it through the Big Shot, and now voila. So now you've got a colored image on your white cardstock of the image of that embossing folder. Is that not gorgeous? So I think this is going to make a fun wintry card. Again, I'll share that project with you. So that's one way you can do it, is run your embossing folder through the machine so that it indents, it embosses that ink into your card. But you don't necessarily have to run it into the embossing folder, because another way that you can do that is, now that I have this inked on here, I can just close this and ink the image on top. So this isn't going to be embossed. This is just going to be a flat image, but I just need to find something to kind of help me push it down. I just want to make sure I got equal pressure on that. Voila. So again, this isn't going to be an embossed image, but it's a way for me to ink an image. Now, depending on what I want, it's not as clear, it's not as precise of an image because I didn't run it through the machine, but that's just another way to get a fun background look. is by inking your embossing folders, and they just wash off great in the sink or like with a baby wipe. Here, and let's just try it again so you can kind of see it pop some more with so I'm going to try this one with the flat side. So the other side I did was the raised side, but because I'm not pushing this through the machine, I'm not worried too much of it. I don't need that embossed look. I'm more looking for that flower look. So I did the reverse side. This isn't going to turn out as nice. I can already see it, but that's what happens when you do it on the whim. I should have done the other side because this one's kind of thick, but this has given me kind of a very rustic, distressed look. So that might work for your project depending on what you're going to do. So let's see how I can turn that into a card. So check back throughout the day. I will post the tips as well as some pictures of all the projects. Oh, before we go though, let me share some other fun cards that some demonstrators have made using these embossing folders. So I've got a card here. Now this is that worn out look that I shared with you at the very beginning. And it's just got some fun worn out, but then some die cuts, but it just makes a fun background. Oh yeah, and I forgot to show you that. To stamp on your card first and then run it through your machine, because you still get the stamped image, but then you also get that background image. So this is a card that Kathy Lovell made. It's so super cute. So thanks, Kathy. Timing was perfect using all those backgrounds. Now I've got another one from Lorna Rosinski. And again, she used that same kind of worn, torn look background. Such a beautiful card. And then sponged over top of it. So that's another technique, another way that you can just add some pop to your cards. Is that not absolutely beautiful? Such a stunning card. Beautiful card, Lorna. Okay, and then I've got another card here. This is from Patty Tamata, and it's got the beautiful kind of bark background. Now I haven't picked up that embossing folder set yet, but I will. But I just wanted to share with you this beautiful card that she made, also embossing and heat embossing on top on a card kind of in the middle there on that gold vellum. Is that not beautiful? My gosh. Patty, this is beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and then I've got this card, Winona Semler made, and it is got the brick background as well as some swirly background kind of on that die there. Don't know if you can see that too well, but there's the bricks. But is that not so cute? Getting ready for Christmas, sending love and Christmas cheer. But again, that background just makes the card pop, gives it that little bit extra. And then finally, I've got this beautiful card from Sue Patrisk, who used, this is an embossed frame that comes in a framelit set. You'll find that in the mini catalog. But is that not just stunning? She too used that kind of gold foil to make the centers. But I just think that raised embossed image just makes this look like such a powerful, beautiful card that probably took hours to make, but with your cut and emboss machine, made easy. So thanks, Sue, for this card. And thank you guys very much for hanging out today on today's Sunday Fun Day to, check a little bit, check out how I store, how I organize my embossing folders. Like I said, I'll post some more throughout the day, and I'm very interested in some tips and tricks that you have. So by all means, share them. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.